Hi everybody. I am going to tell you a few things about viruses that are going to make you mad. But sit tight, because it's more beneficial than it is angering. This is good, important information, and you'll appreciate it. I decided I wanted to look into history to see what Royal Lee thought about viruses and what he thought about influenza. I also wanted to look at Weston A. Price to see what he thought about it. Didn't get to that yet. Right now, just Royal Lee. He was a dentist and a superb nutritionist. He started Standard Process, the whole food concentrate company that I talk about in my videos. So I'm going to read a bunch of his words, and you're going to find this interesting. First of all, I want to give credit to this blogger I am reading off of my phone, Health Alchemy blog. And who writes this? Well, it's healthacmeblog.weebly.com. This is the title. You can look this up. Immunity Never Changes, Thoughts of Dr. Royal Lee. Dr. Lee became acutely aware of how important a strong immune system is. As a 23-year-old soldier during World War I, he experienced the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, which hit the military of both sides of the ocean, and infecting over 50 million in just over 2 years and killing over 500,000. The Spanish flu was a major contributor to the end of World War I in 1918. When a new strain of the flu epidemic emerged in the 1920s, it struck his mother, almost killing her. Dr. Lee was pushed to make his first whole food concentrate, later called Catalin, for strengthening her immune system and supporting her overall health. These incidents only reaffirmed Dr. Lee's belief that good nutrition is the key to health. And he talks a lot about food and how the changes in our food has been destructive to our health. As we see from the history in America, indigenous populations died by the thousands when introduced to the European diseases. Their immune systems were strong, but they had never been exposed to these diseases' antigens. So this talks about antigens and how your body develops them naturally, not through pharmaceutical exposure, if you know what I mean. Those who survived seem to have natural immunity. So I want to move on to another quote. This is from Dr. Royal Lee in 1955. I'm going to make this all connect. Just hang on. In all parts of the globe where the native population had changed from their natural foods to the use of commercial products, there began the infiltration of those dreaded diseases, tuberculosis, pneumonia, and influenza, exactly parallel to the increase in their use of commercial foods. It made no difference whether the change took place in a high valley in the Swiss Alps or in an island of the sea in the eastern or western hemisphere. The identically same results followed the introduction of commercial foods of civilized man. So the words I want you to focus on, the dreaded diseases, tuberculosis, pneumonia, and influenza, when natural foods were decreased in the diet. Here's another, this is a columnist, Judy Stone. Dr. Lee suggested that the triad of ionized calcium, vitamin F, and vitamin C complex are the nutritional elements that make it possible for the body's immune system to mobilize the power to knock out flu, viruses, and bacterium and their associated diseases. So this article breaks down what is so important about calcium, vitamin F, and vitamin C. So if you want to know about that triad, ask me the next time you're in the office. Okay, some more of Royal Lee's words. This is going to get more specific now to viruses, so hang on. Calcium has so many functions, it is hard to overstate how vital its importance is. There are good reasons to believe that no virus infection can occur unless the calcium levels of the body fluids have dropped below a certain limit. Here's another he made a correlation between soft drinks and ice cream and polio. And he writes about, my notes are out of order here, so hang on. He writes about how Dr. Benjamin Sandler in North Carolina, he wrote the book Diet Prevents Polio. He had a study done in 1948 and 1949 reducing sugar intake, and the polio cases plummeted. Now, why do I mention polio? Because we've got this obsession with viruses right now. So I'm focusing on what Roy Lee said about viruses from his work and his experiences with nutrition. Exogenous sugar in the diet promotes susceptibility to virus or bacterial disease. Dr. Benjamin Sandler said this. Tuberculosis patients improved rapidly on a non-sugar, non-glucose diet. So sugar undermines resistance. So that's where he said soft drinks and ice cream was correlated with polio. Now, keep that in the back of your mind. Well, no, keep it in the front of your mind. This is important. Glucose, syrupy sugars, impairs the assimilation of calcium. I just mentioned, he said you can't have viruses really proliferating if you have calcium, but you need to have that sugar out of your diet because you're not going to assimilate calcium properly. And also mentioning the acid treatment of cornstarch. Cornstarch, how do you make corn syrup? You're actually destroying the vitamins and minerals. And why would you want to eat something that was treated with acid? Save that one for a second. A calcium bicarbonate deficiency causes recurrent fevers. Sorry, I'm a little bit ahead of myself here. Calcium bicarbonate deficiency is associated with recurrent fevers. And Dr. Roy Lee has mentioned this over and over in his writings. Pasteurized milk also caused fevers. He wrote a whole article about when you take the naturalness, when you denature the milk, you are going to make yourself sick. And here we've had pasteurized milk for how many umpteen decades here. Chronic fevers in children are caused by a calcium deficiency. Children who are nervous and have a cough at night have a calcium deficiency. What do we worry about with children? Yeah, they're hacking all night long and we give them cough medicine. It's a calcium deficiency. And he describes germs, that would be virus and bacteria and parasites. Germs are scavengers. They only appear when your tissues are useless to you. They're dead tissues. They need to be gone. And he calls them the scavengers. The germs are scavengers. They only appear at that time when something needs to be rid out of your body. Okay. I said that. This is going to blow your mind. In recent tests, mosquitoes refused to bite persons who were well supplied with vitamin B1. Let me repeat that. In recent tests, mosquitoes refused to bite persons who were well supplied with vitamin B1. How do the mosquitoes know? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just excited to know that nutrition fills in the blanks of why we're sick. And nutrition, not in processed foods, there's none left. You've got to go back to the whole foods. And since we do have a lot of depletion in our soil, you've got to go to supplementation, and standard process is where to go. So he says in his writings, malnutrition is a basic cause of malaria. Now, what is the drug everyone's curious about with this current acute illness that everyone's talking about? Yeah, you got that. A malaria drug. But how about correct nutrition? When they say right here, the mosquitoes won't bite you. Are you mad? You should be mad. And I think I touched on everything that I gathered in the writings of Roya Lee. If you want to know more, call me. Ask me during your chiropractic visit, or get set up on Sense Tele-Health, and I'd be happy to discuss it with you. Viruses don't stand a chance. They don't. Thanks for watching.